Welcome to Legacy Conversations, a channel where we preserve military memories and history.
Hello everyone, welcome here. I must tell you, there's a time when you don't really have a lot to say when you do an introduction to a video, and this is one of them. This is the one where we went to Diaz. Now you will remember Augusto Diaz, I hope, there were previous videos. That's a Fourie 1 battalion, the Bushmen Battalion. A soldier which I found basically in a shack. He lost his arm and leg on his body, I believe, on the left side with an RPG incident. Was injured during combat operations. And when I found him, he's about 68, 70 years old now. He also had a lot of cataracts in his eyes, which made him virtually blind. And I found him near Kimberley in a place called Platfontein. And it really disturbed me. It disturbed me that a South African Army veteran can be under such conditions. And certainly he's not alone. There are many of them like that. I would say thousands, who has basically been abandoned by, the government and by everybody else. And this is despite them giving basically their life and their body to fight for a cause. And it's because of men like this that you have freedom today. Yes, freedom. You can vote. You can go where you want to. You can do what you want to within the rules of law, of course. And it ended in a negotiated settlement. And people always ask me, was it worth it? The answer is yes, it was worth it. Because if you look at every other African country which became independent from Britain, from the empire or wherever, most of them fell into chaos and civil war, and dreadful things were happening, and the economies are still ruined, and they're still nowhere. 50 years later, and they're still nowhere. It's sad. It's sad. And South Africa was actually one of the odd ones out, because in 1994, Mr. Mandela got the country which actually worked. Yes, there were electricity. Do you remember that? You would put on a switch and there were actually lights. There were roads without potholes. And there were a lot of hope. What's happening today is not my fault. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault who was involved in the war. At the end of the day, the politicians has to man up and stand up and admit their mistakes in life and their utter incompetence, which is why we are now where we are. So after I found Diaz there, I made a promise. I said to him, I'll see if Legacy can assist. And I recall, and I probably say it in the video to come as well, I don't make false promises. I just don't. And so I broadcasted the appeal, and lots of people, lots of you actually stood up and started contributing. A committee was formed, and an auditor came forward with the name of Johan, wonderful man. He was also on Legacy. And we could use his trust account for the money to go in, because Legacy do not collect money on behalf of our people. We are not a registered charity. We are not geared to do it, and I don't want to do it. But in certain cases like this, if we can find like an auditor who can ensure that the money is safe and there's no problems there, then of course we don't mind doing it. And I was astonished. I was absolutely astonished on how much the people were donating. And it wasn't just money. It was also people would arrive with furniture. They would arrive with paint, or they would give it to the committee members on cost price, that type of thing. And things just went ahead, and it was also arranged that Diaz will be able to see. Sadly, the first operation which he had to do for his eyes, there was something wrong with his blood pressure, and so we couldn't do it. But I know in March of 2025, we're going to try again. And that might be before or after this video come out, I don't know. But we will keep you informed. And then Diaz, for the first time, will actually be able to see the people who is assisting him and his family. And let me tell you, if you walk around in Platfontein, it's all the same. It's people who's basically dumped. It's people who's there because everyone forgot about them. We know about the Recce Battalion problems as well, with the former members. 3-1 Battalion I didn't know about until I got there. And of course, there's lots of white people also living in poverty and basically in such forgotten places. It's hard and it's tough times, and we should be grateful. If you're sitting here today and you don't have to worry about where you're going to eat in a few hours from now, or you have electricity, or you can fill your car with gas, with gasoline, with petrol, you have a medical aid, got some money in the bank, your house is paid. You know what? You are blessed beyond belief, because a lot of our veterans, none of those things are possible. Nothing. What is also, in a way, sad here is that the money donated, 100,000 rands, comes down to $5,000. $5,000 for a lot of people, especially those overseas, it's not money. It's not money. And yet, in a place like South Africa, in a place like, especially in Platfontein, that's a fortune. And it can change somebody's life completely. You can rebuild somebody's house completely by donating that kind of money. And it's a pity that not more people are interested in assisting. It is, I suppose, an appeal from my side. Guys, we've got a lot of work to do. And as we say in this video, no one else is going to help you. No one. Government's not going to help you. America is not going to come and save you. Russia is not going to come and save you. At the end of the day, we have to look after each other. It's just that. We have to remember that we were one unit in the war. Doesn't matter if you're black or white or pink or whatever, it doesn't matter. We were all one. And we still one. To make this video, just as background, was not easy. Because a thunderstorm started. And we had to rush into the house. And of course, it's a tin roof, so there's a lot of rain falling down. But Elsa, who was our camera woman that day, she did very well. And we did our best with the microphones and things we had available. And I think it came out well. We were speaking a mixture of languages. We were speaking Bushman, Portuguese, Afrikaans, and English at the same time. So in the video, I took the trouble to translate where I thought it was important from Afrikaans to English. Sometimes that was a translation on a translation. In other words, Uncle Diaz would be speaking in Bushman, then Pastor Sergeant Bonga would translate to Afrikaans, and I would translate all of that back into English. And it wasn't that easy, but I did my best, and I'm sure that you'll be able to follow at least with just of a conversation. You would be able to figure out what was being said in Afrikaans. And that's it. That's what this video is about. And if you want to get involved, of course, you're welcome to get involved. There's still a few things we need to do. You'll see at the end of the video. But this is optional. It wasn't in the original budget, but they found out that the houses, because they were built so badly, I hope those people who built it are rotten hell. But because it's built so badly, when the rain comes, the foundations are basically swept aside, and to overcome that you had to put like a ring of concrete right around the house. That wasn't in the budget. Obviously these places don't have anything like aircon or anything like that. In fact, they don't even have electricity in most of them, and there is, if you watch the first video, I think probably a dozen children by now has been electrocuted and has died because of a lack of proper infrastructure, which is a government job, not private. But of course, they don't care. Why would they care? And so it's up to us. It's up to us to help with solar. That will help. Also remember, in a place like Kimberley, it's extremely cold in the winter. It's far below zero. And in summer, it's very, very warm, 40 degrees Celsius easily. So it's a tough climate. And the houses are simply not built for that. They were built by the cheapest, nastiest, most horrible standards you can imagine. In fact, there were no standards, let's be honest. And so at the end of the video, Louw and Elsa and Rebecca walks around one of the original houses, because the house of Diaz looked like that. And then you can see how much work was done. And it's something to be very excited about. I think we really did well as a legacy community. I want to thank all of you. And let's not waste time further. Let's carry on. Let's see what happened that day at Platfontein when we visited Wim Diaz and his family.
Good afternoon, everybody present here. My name is Louw. I'm a former South African Special Forces operative, best known as the Recce in South Africa. I'm from Namibia originally. I'm at present residing in Kimberley. Today is a very, very pleasant day, a very happy day in the life of one former 3-1 Omega, the Bushmen, prominently known as the Bushmen Battalion from Namibia. The guy's name is Diaz. We're at his house. And what you're going to see today is that everybody that put in money for the renovation of the house of Diaz, and this is what we're going to put on camera today. So we're going to start from one side, and we are with the family of Diaz. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name is Herman Schwickard, also a former soldier, and I was also working with the Special Forces in Southwest Africa, Namibia at that time, with Hans as well. I'm not an operative, I was just a signaller. We were all part and parcel of getting involved in renovating and fixing up Augusto Diaz's house for him and his family, because they were actually staying in squalor. We haven't quite reached our goal, but we're getting there. Times have been tough and time was few, but we will get there. But yeah, it's 95% complete, and with a little bit more effort and support, we should have him up and going hopefully by Christmas. And yeah, and I'm not gonna, we might have his site done as well, but we're not going to elaborate on that now.
Goedemiddag, ek is meneer Pastor Gonga en ek is bly vandag en ek is een van die leier van Platfontein. Ek is 'n ondervoorsitter van Chief hier by Platfontein en ek is baie bly vir u almal wat hier na toe gekom en ek is baie bly vir koers wat hier na toe gekom en dit is die goeie werk wat ek het gesien, maar ek het nog nooit so iets gesien van Namibia af tot hierso, maar dit ek is baie bly vir die goeie werk wat julle doen en ek is baie bly daarvoor. Baie dankie.
It's an honor for me to stand here today to talk about the renovation of the specific house of Diaz. Bearing in mind that Diaz is a casualty of war, he lost his arm, he lost his legs. At present, he cannot see because of cataracts on his eyes. But one guy that I want to single out very much closely is Herman Schwickard. If it was not for Herman here with me in Kimberley, I was supposed to nearly 95% completion on this project. What is outstanding on this project is the rewall in the bathroom. There's no excuse on my side The only excuse I have is my hospitalization due to my illness from this year, January, until as we're standing today in the house of Diaz. But coming, before I die, I'll complete this house. That's a commitment. That's nothing left. I'll finish it. And but the one main person I want to single out is Koos from Legacy Conversation. If it was not for Koos, if it was not the patience for Koos, his commitment. There's a lot of other programs that comes after Legacy Conversation now, right now in South Africa, as we're speaking. But they will never come close to Koos. And if it was not for Koos, it was not supposed to be for Diaz today to sitting in a house as we're sitting here today. Bearing in mind the leg that Diaz received from a doctor in Bloemfontein, free of charge, close to 500,000 rand. And this is what the leg cost, free of charge. By the grace of God, the doctor gave it to him free of charge. And it was all starting with Koos. So I'm really blessed. I'm really feeling honored to be here to do it for my fellow comrade Diaz. Both the two of us was recipients. He was a recipient of RBG7 in the contact. Me too in 1996 while I was a mercenary in Sierra Leone. I was a recipient of RBG7. My Land Rover gets shot out. So I know the pain that Diaz go through. I know. So I'm very much, and I want to say, Koos, thank you very much. And may God bless you to make wonderful programs like that in the future. To make a difference in, fellow soldiers of Diaz that people have forgotten. The freedom that everybody enjoys in South Africa today is because of guys like Diaz. It's because of guys like Diaz. So that's where we're standing today, and we will complete. And everybody that put in a cent for the renovation of this project, we can account for that, me and Herman. We can account for that, every cent. And there will be a detailed recon at the end of this project that we will be submitted to Fourie in Pretoria and to the auditor that that was in charge of this project.
All right,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a great honor to see you again. And Rebecca, we always hear about you, and what a nice experience to meet you eventually. But what a great experience to have the privilege to be back here with Augusto Diaz, and he's our old veteran soldier that was terribly wounded in the Angolan bush war, and he lost his left arm and his left leg. At some way or another, the good Lord permitted Koos to actually land up with me in Bloemfontein, and we sat there and we had Diaz as a discussion, and we said, let's make this thing work. And we got a little congregation going, a little work group, and it existed between Hans, Herman, Pastor Ngogo, and myself, and Isvia and Frans Kleinhans, the doctor that Hans is referring to, and everybody's hearts just went open. Everybody's pockets went open, and everybody gave with good grace and out of the deepest of their sincerity, which is, I think, is wonderful. But the best of it all is we can humbly stand here today and say we didn't make in some people's minds, what you see here today would be a very, very humble establishment. But if you know what it looked like in the past and you know what it looks like now, it's been with heaps and bounds that there was a difference made here. And my gratitude to each and every member of our committee, and I would like to name them in person if I may, Koos, and then it all started with you. But Sgt Fourie, an ex-operative from the Recce component of the South African Defence Force, Dr. Frans Kleinhans, he's an ex-war veteran. Hans Louw, which has announced himself, he's an ex-Recce operative. Herman, he's just a character on his own, and he's just him. And I'm glad that I'm called by, I got his name by birth. So, and then Mornay and a number of other people that contributed, but people ex-South African Defence Force bush war veterans, their hearts and their minds just went open, and they gave. And it all started with Koos that landed up here And then it gave me the honor and the privilege to meet this wonderful family and to make a difference in their lives. And Diaz tells me his leg is a vast improvement on the previous experience that he's had. And we can't wait for the cataracts to be removed from his eyes so that he could see us and he could actually meet with us. And I had a blessed experience when I came into the room and I introduced myself to Diaz again. And he took my right hand and he put it on his head as if he was accepting a blessing from me. And what a grateful experience. But anything, Chris, if it went for you popping in and meeting Diaz way back, none of this would have been happened. Maybe you should just give an overview and tell us what you've experienced.
Yeah, thank you. Let me say to you guys, I have to thank Pastor Ngonga. We were recording the 3-1 battalion people, the Bushmen as I know, and they are all Bushmen, real Bushmen. And so he brought me here and he brought me to see Diaz. And I sat them down, they were sitting there, right? I will show you a video here, we'll play that video for you. Internet, ons is hierso by Platfontein, dink ek, hier buite Kimberley, waar die 3-1 die Busman soldate is. Pastoor hierso het vir ons gevat na hierdie man. En kom ons vra 'n bietjie vrae en jy het my vergewe, ek het net my selfoon hier by my, maar dit is so belangrik dat ons praat met die mense. Nou pastoor, kan jy vir my sê, die man wat ons hier het, wat is sy naam, of miskien jy kan vir ons self sê, wat is sy name?
Amakwa ke aku amawamju seka wabanga qamang amakwa ke aku
Ada mình
ka tisha nga aku.
okay, nou gaan we het maar ik kom bij Diaz.
My naam is Diaz.
En Diaz was ook 'n soldaat gewees daar by 3-1 Battalion of by 'n ander eenheid.
Ja,
Hy was daar gewees. Nou, ek verstaan nie nou intussen tyd, hy sien nie meer goed nie, hy is bietjie blind. Is dit die waarheid?
Ja, okay, as ek hasin da se tua kwa da kamoji kukwa se kaga joda hekto kwa.
kan nooit dit dan wel.
Dit is waar, ek kan nie mooi sien nie. Dit is waar wat u gesê het, maar ek kan nie mooi sien nie. Ek kan nie weer sien nie.
Nou Diaz, ek sien jy het net een arm en ek verstaan net een been. Wat het gebeur met u?
Dat is allemaal. Ik zie allemaal.
Die tyd van die oorlog toe ons was by die kondak toe dit wat gebeur en toe verloor ek my arm en my been.
Dit was nie 'n landmyn nie, dit was 'n RPG-7.
Kan ek
Boven weet je, ik ga kiel boven.
dit was nie landmyn nie, ons het by die bofor gery en toe die RPG wat getref met die bofor toe gaan plof daar binnekant toe, ek het van daar af verloor my arm en my bene.
Ja, en na die tyd het hy begin verloor die gesig ook om nie goed te kan sien.
En aan die tyd ek het 'n bietjie so mooi gekyk man. Nie nou nie.
Goed, en nou bly jy alleen hierso en hy is hierso by die plek. Ek gaan gou foto neem. Hierdie is u huisie. Nou kom ek vra nou eers vir u. Ek sien nie krag hier nie, ek sien nie elektrisiteit nie. Wat het gebeur?
Ek kwam ek toe sang krag ta luju kula chotam chimake o. Ta luju kula kwai. Daar is nie help om die krag te kom aansit hierso en hulle net die huis gebou, maar daar is nie krag nie.
En ek sien ook hierso by die trappe, daar's nie eintlik 'n plek waar vir 'n man wat nou moeilik loop met net een been en een arm, daar's nie trappe nie, dis baie moeilik om in die plek te kom.
Masin da kholusi kula ke tshikho nqwa nqane ke aqumne ka sengqaqonqa ke kholusi ko ya khula xa ba tshoni kula tamchima ke kondisela kuna.
Kan no ti gang ni ka pang ya ya ko ji le de ten mo ti thoi den wa ten wi dam chima ko ti thoi din chima chin shu ge e ti thoi. Kui hin ko ti thoi Nou, kan.
Ek sien dit is mense wat kan nie die mense help nie en seker hulle voel ek is nie mense nie daar wat hulle doen nie vir my. Hulle sien ek is gestremd maar hulle kon nie vir my die trappe so opgeset nie.
Het hy enige iemand hierso wat hom help?
Tik khong mange a kwasa ake kwang.
Tôi nghĩ cái số của mình thành đến với cái số.
Daar is niemand wat my help net my seentjie wat my help is.
Hoe oud is die seentjie?
En mama kom kawingay. Ja, matik bo man dit maar.
Tai anh rồi mất.
Okay, hy sê hy is bietjie groter maar ek ken nie sy ouderdom.
Het hy enige hulp van die weermag self vir hom?
Dat trop ek dan nie konama kwasa gia ay magi kwasa.
Tôi vẫn đang tôi phải giúp các nhưng mà có quá.
By die weermag sê kan ek sien niks en ek sien niks niemand wat my help.
Wat het hy nodig?
Tam chiwi se sema atu ng so kwasa ni ba.
Mấy ai chủ chỉ cả người sao có xem một ít có xem cái chú không có xem chỉ cả ấy phải tu ấy cái cula yang dah cái có những cái gì là cula ấy phải cái gì chú cula chú biết gì.
Ek nodig help as ek help gaan kry ek gaan baie bly. Ek soek 'n mooi blyplek. Ek soek 'n krag by die huis. Ek soek water wat naby by my laat ek van die water uit naby kry. Want as partieker die kinders hulle is weg en nou ek is alleen maar ek kry dors ek wag tot wanneer hulle weer terugkom by die huis maar dit is baie moeilik vir my maar ek soek goed wat naby by my soos water en 'n toilet en die mooi plek waar ek gaan bly.
Is daar enigiets wat aan sy oë gedoen kan word met 'n operasie om die oë die sig terug te kry?
Ang gama kawachike sha oi ka operasi ka singatsi kana ma tungsi lanjala ka ke khwanga ka ke.
Người cái mà
Dit is wat ek gaan baie bly as ek kry iemand wat kan my oë gaan operasie maak en ek kan mooi kyk of ek sal kan sien.
Hoe lank is nou al dat hy gestremd is as gevolg van die terroriste van die oorlog?
Kau bingay magkakang kumati kaya ke kumati ke kakang.
thao cái kuma pafintatak.
Pafintatak het ek kakang. Ek het die 1985 wat ek seer gekry, my arm verloor tot vandag toe. Spaar jaar maar ek kan nie getal gee nie.
Goed, en toe hy die arm verloor het hy ook die been verloor.
Dieselfde dag het hy bene en 'n arm verloor is.
Was hy oorspronklik van Angola wat afgekom het saam met Linford Delwel?
Maak ek kama Angola takechi dat ek kuma tropa ke Namibia kuna.
Louw. Kita tu kita juga kita gole gitu sih so tropa tu ni kita gole tu so tropa kita tu ni misal kagak sih gitu.
Ek was by die Angola was ek het die weermag toe ek net oorgekom en ek was die weermag toe oorkom na Namibia toe. Saam by Cornel Landford.
So was hy by die Portugees weermag voor die tyd? Ja, hy was by die Portugese weermag.
Ja.
Ek moet sê, ek weet nie eintlik wat om verder te sê nie. Al wat ek vir u kan sê is sterkte en mag die Here met u wees en ons sal ons bes doen om u te help.
Ma kula chikti sige makwa dama ke gawa klingna ba ya yunga ta jwasin chike jwat twisa kwasa kwa.
Okay.
Ek waardeer baie en dankie.
And they sat there under the tree with two chairs. And we spoke in Afrikaans and they explained to me what's happening. And I said, I think the last words I said to him, Diaz, was, I will be back and I do not make false promises. But I must tell you, I drove out and I reached the highway there and I started crying and I had to stop. And I called my wife. With my support, you know, all of you are thanking me and legacy, but let me tell you, behind a good man is a very good woman. And this is her. And she's the one who has supported us through all these years and stood by us and said to me, go forward. And I wish to thank her as well for all of you. All you guys who contributed, even if you made a prayer, I want to think of Dr. Solomon there in Sweden. I want to think of Laurens Passon. There's so many of you. If I haven't mentioned you by name, please forgive me. The fact is, your money and your good wishes and your prayers has changed the life of someone here. We're long not done. Hans will tell you he's going to change this entire town. And we're also going to see if we can get people to grow their own vegetables. We're going to see how else we can support them. Gentlemen, I've said this before in Legacy, I'm going to say it to you again. You're standing alone. No one else is going to help you. You have to come to the party. You have to come and help each other. And this is a classic example of how it helped. Maar ek sal ook vir julle dit sê, dis 'n brawe man wat hier voor my sit, oom Diaz. Dis 'n man wat nooit geklaar het nie. Dis die interessante ding, mense. Toe ons al onder die boom gesit het met pastoor, geen klagtes. Niks gesê, niks jammer gevoel vir homself, niks van niks nie, hy het net sy storie vertel. En dis waar ons staan, en ek wil julle almal weer eens bedank, as julle vir Legacy ondersteun, mense, ons probeer goed doen. Dis ons, hierdie is 'n gevolg van 'n goeie werk. Miskien kan oom Diaz gou vir ons 'n paar woorde sê.
Oom Diaz, sê gou vir my, ek weet jy kan nog nie die huis sien nie, maar is dit beter hier by die huis? Voel jy beter as jy hier so bly?
Goed man. Jy van my.
Dis reg, maar sê, kan jy verstaan?
Waarom nie? Maar het is diep veel. Gonga. Kau man cakap mana je?
Ja. Toch, kita ada meeting. Ja, nang.
Okay. Toi, avec toi, et que quand oui, ma tournée t'a pris le nom.
Hy sê die mense sy lewe en die woord wat uitgekom, hy sê nog nooit so iets gehoor nie. En die eerste keer wat vandag hy hoor die goeie woorde wat uitkom.
Wat nie okay.
Die tyd wat ons was, ons het in mekaar leer ken nie.
Dat trou. Wat was nie die kan maar ja.
Die begin van die jaar en tot die einde van die jaar, ek het nog nooit so goeie woord gehoor, maar ek vandag het gehoor die goeie woord wat na my toe kom.
Dan wat jy doen?
Die Here is ander man.
Kom toe net.
Die mense sien nie die Here nie.
Ja, nee, nie wat.
Net hy alleen kyk na ons toe.
Ja, wat doen?
Hy is anders sien.
Dan moet dankie.
Ek gee vir Herman baie dankie.
Ek het goed.
En ek gee vir u baie dankie.
Ek het dat.
En sy vroukie ook ek gee baie dankie.
Niet wat doen.
Ek sal nooit vergeet die goeie werk wat hulle doen.
Tot ek moet.
Tot wanneer ek wegkom hier by die aarde.
Weet jy wat doen?
My gedagte is anders.
Ek het nie. Ek wil nie.
Die woord, hy gaan ver.
Tot. Hoe gaan jy dit?
Tot die einde van die
Platfontein, je kon met je niet.
Ek het nie geglo die goeie woorde kom na my toe nie.
Beton met je.
Ek het nie so gedink nie.
Kule met je kon die je.
Waarvandaan kom die goeie woorde na my toe te kom? Deur die God.
Kijk, je kon die tot je toe.
Die lang pad wat hulle gekom tot hier na toe by my uitgekom. Ek is baie bly.
Kwam je gooi na gooi. Jawabki.
En die pad van die Here laat ons volg die pad se Here. Geef vir almal baie dankie en hy julle veilig gekom hier na toe en hy ons kom saam gepraat het. Die Here, hy sien wat alles ons doen.
Macam dia bang tadi kalau kami di kuhung mewah.
My ouers het toe hulle my groot geword het, ek het nie die pad geken nie.
Kule bang pergi pernah.
Waarvandaan kom die goeie woorde vir my?
Kamu kadang ia.
Gee baie dankie vir Herman.
Ko Mikkel.
Ek is baie bly.
Maar kijk kamu dia kontak tak utrok
Ek bid van die vir my woord wat ek gaan bid.
Itu musuh kat.
Ons bid saam.
Kamu baik dengan ayah dengan kau. Mungkin nak lagi riman kaji tu. Tak kau itu tua ya, ini kami. Dia kami ya, dia cakap itu. Tapi kami enggak, enggak. Tahu punya aku, entah tu, kerana dia kuya. Tu bukan, jauh kerja. Tapi kalau dangi ngau, krut dangi mata ia. Jika ia oh. Jika kan mati, terbawa apa? Jadi kita mencari kopi, kopi enggak ya di tangga mi, tidak di sini, itu kopi yang mau dikaya. Macam dan mungkin kita mikir kuat thì mình trai chứ đặng là cái người để tuyệt công thế kiểu anh sẽ đi chỉ được chỉ cô đi mà đây thì còn cái sẽ đi đăng cái máuคนđăng cái đặng chỉ cô đi khởi phát Amen.
Amen.
Oom Diaz, baie dankie vir die gebed. Ek kry dit uit jou hart uit, dat jou opregtheid is so groot en so mooi, dat ek kan nie anders as om saam met jou die Here te vat en die Here by my hart te sit. Baie dankie pa, jy het ons vandag geseën, en ons het gekom om vir jou te kom kuier, maar dit is ons voorreg. Baie dankie. Dan wil ek graag net vra, daai seentjie van jou daar agter wat mooi na jou kyk, kan jy vir ons sê, ou seun, wat is jou naam? En vertel ons net of jy tevrede is dat jou pa beter is. Hou hom so. Maar nie by jou mond sit nie.
Ek gee julle almal baie dankie vir julle het gekom hierso. Dan die goed direk gemaak met pa. My hart is baie lekker vir julle. Nou, ek sien julle mooi gedoen van pa. En ek sien julle het nie baie lieg gesê van my pa. Julle het nooit gedoen vir die ding julle het gedoen. Is die ding wil my hart wil ek nou praat. Dis my laaste woord wil ek sê. Baie dankie vir julle
Baie
almal.
dankie. Julle moet baie mooi kyk na jou ma en jou pa en jou familie, hoor. Want jy gaan nou die groot man wees wat die regop loop. Nee, okay, jy moet mooi vat. Chris, I think it's appropriate for you to conclude this session and maybe just give us an overview, or maybe somebody like Rebecca that is totally independent can give us her overview on what she has experienced today.
Oh, I won't be able to because I'll cry. It's the most beautiful thing. These are the most beautiful people outside in the village. It's just, there's joy here too, and I'm so grateful to my husband. I'll never forget that call because Cruz is not very emotional, but he was in the car. I could tell by his voice. He said, "Honey, what do you think?" I said, "What are you asking? Do it." And I could feel just the project, how it was going to affect us. And it has. You people are so beautiful, and it's such an honor to be able to help. And that's my take on it. So thank you. Anybody who can lend a hand, you will just feel it. You will feel good. You will feel good because it is a real cause. You hear about all these causes in the world and you think you can help, but what happens you never know. Here you will be able to see the difference and it will be respected and honored as well. There's a lot of simple, easy things that can happen here. And you will change these people's lives. And it's true. So I hope you all can pitch in and help and come and visit. It's extraordinary. Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca. Chris, your final say.
I wish to thank everybody of the committee who got involved. And everybody who got involved. None of them were paid. A lot of them, it actually cost them money to drive here and back. And the commitment was unwavering. And I can tell you from Legacy, we actually didn't do much. We put the videos together, we broadcast it, and they had to go and do the work. Hans always took a leadership position. I expected nothing less from a Special Forces member like Hans. Of course he would take over. Wherever we go in South Africa and we see somebody stand up and be accounted, it's normally a former soldier and quite often a Special Forces man. They just act like that. The pastor here, you know what, there's so much dignity in these people. And that's it. I want to thank all of you. There's going to be next videos. The next big video is going to be where Diaz can actually see. And once we've seen that and he can see this, I think that would be priceless. If anybody else wants to say something, please do so. Otherwise, I'll tell the director to cut.
Chris, maybe while you were talking, I was just getting this thought that came to mind. You know what is amazing about a veteran is irrespective of which unit you were in, irrespective whether you were a special operations operator or whether you were in South African SWASPES or whether you were an ops medic or whether you were in 6-1 battalion or 6-3-1 battalion or whether you were 3-2 battalion. The guys just bind together. There's a glue that you cannot explain, and I would like to thank each and every veteran that contributed, but I would like to thank each and every veteran that cares about another veteran. I think the guys are suffering out there. We're living in extraordinarily hard times, and we need to look after each other because we looked after each other in the bush. Now we need to look after each other in civil life, and we're all getting older, so tough is getting tougher. But in any case, we know the frostbite, and we know the implication of standing together. And I would like to thank Diaz and Chris and everybody else, and I would like to thank his family, Rebecca. Thank you so much, because it's a privilege to share a bit of our harsh reality And I so wish that other people would just start caring about each other. But you have heard now Diaz's prayer, and I firmly believe that it was with nothing but sincerity and gratefulness and experience and grace of God. Diaz, jy moet mooi bly my oom. Ons gaan weer vir jou kom kuier, hoor?
Dankie man.
Dankie my oom.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Chris.
This is how the house originally looked like. So we can go around the house, the specific house, and you will see the vast difference between this house and this house. Let's go. You see people put rocks on to keep the roof on. You know, everything on this house is not right. And it was built by the government for war veterans. Look, there's no glasses here. The handles is off, is broken off. And it was simply, I would never stay in this house myself. I would never. But the previous house of Diaz was looking like this. I can see the vast difference between this house and this house.
Can you explain a bit of what still needs to be done?
The only thing that is left, and there's no excuse, the only excuse is the bathroom and the re-wall. There's a septic tank that was donated, but due to my hospitalization, starting from the beginning of the year, in and out of hospital, but I have to complete. But it's 95 occupational complete.
Okay, and what do you need still in donations to help to finish the project?
To be honest, I don't need any money anymore. I will finish it.
Can you explain what's the situation with the septic tank and the cost involved with that?
The cost involved is only the labor issue. The material is here, the septic tank is there, all the pipes is here. I want to connect the septic tank to bin and connect it with the toilet. The toilets is here. It's not our standard of toilets. It's in a black plastic bag where they come and remove it, which is again subhuman. You see, and this is the new bathroom. It's the only house here in this whole houses that is having a bathroom like that, where Diaz going to shower and do his thing inside the house. But at the present moment, you have to go either to that toilet or to go to that toilet, which is not right. I mean, he's a disabled guy.
Yeah.
He cannot see. He's got one arm. He's got one leg.
And I understand that you need some heavy equipment to dig the hole. Apparently, there's rocks underneath the soil.
It is like that, but you know, I have a friend. I spoke to him already, and I'm back now from hospital. I won't go back to the hospital again. It's just to dig a hole, to sink the septic tank. See, and that is the only thing. The money, there's no money involved. All the material is been bought and it can accounted for, but I want to do a proper recon once the completion of the whole project.
Okay, and the stoop?
This is additional.
Okay.
This is not budget for original budget. It's additional.
Okay.
But we will do it. If there's money left, we will do it. You know, to give him a proper stoop here and to do an apron right around the house. An apron of 1 meter right around the house.
Yeah, to make it more accessible.
To make it now to prevent erosion.
Okay.
As you can see, most of the houses, you know, the ground has been carved away as the people are cleaning the houses around the houses. And the apron, a concrete apron, will prevent that to do that. And that is the last thing we want to do.
Okay. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want?
No, you can take a video right around the house, and then you will see the difference between this house right around, because you take a video of that house and you will see the vast difference. And a break and build does not come cheap. No, it doesn't come cheap. The best way is to break the house completely until the foundation and rebuild. But according to the budget restraints, but this is how the house looks like. This is the expansion joint, is because of the movement underneath of the ground. So that's why there's expansion joint. And also here, he asked me to take out this tree. I will do it. And to put the stoop here, where he can enjoy the sunset. And I will put the stoop here for him. This was not here. Everything here we replaced it. Replaced the door, we replaced the door frames. The lights is here, the solar panel lights that somebody donated for the whole house. Solar panel lights. And I have it is in the car. The light is inside that I donate. But they don't have light. Everything is here. But because of the corruption in our country, people cannot complete a simple project like that to provide electricity. And more than one child get electrocuted here because of people that steal electricity from other people. And this is how the house looks. There's no window. There's glasses is inside. The putty is here. There's not much to be done. And that's it. So I cannot give account for every penny that was donated. Every penny. But like I said, my big friend Herman Swigert. If it was not for him, I was not supposed to do it. If it was not for him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It is like that, but I have a friend. I spoke to him already. I'm back now from hospital. I won't go back. Just to dig a hole, to sink the septic tank. See, and that is the only thing. The money, there's no money involved. All the material.
Okay, this video which you've just seen is actually 4 months old. It was shot in November of 2024. Today is the 20th of March, 2025. And this morning, very early, I've received 2 messages, which I will play for you in due course. Both are in Afrikaans, so I will just translate it to you a bit later after that. And the first one is from Sgt Louw.
Hallo Koos, is Hans hier so. Ek sit saam met ou Diaz hier so. Die ou Diaz sien sommer mooi met daai een oog. Is nou 6:49 hier Suid-Afrikaanse tyd. Nee, die ou sien sommer mooi. Ja, ek gaan ook nou loop nou. Ek wil jou man net laat weet, ja. Nee, die ou sien sommer mooi met daai een oog. Okay, Koos, lekker dag hoor. Bye.
And this one is from Herman Lombard of Recce.
Koosie, toe daai oomie my sien, toe is dit asof hy homself poegeling omskrik. Hy kan nie glo hy kan my sien nie. Ek meen, hy het my nog nooit gesien nie. En dis net die een oog, die ander oog moet nou later gedoen word. Maar die slotsom is, daai oog moet nou so toegedra word vir die volgende 7 dae om te keer vir die wind en al die ander goed en seker maar druppeltjies en dies meer. Maar nee, hy kan sien my maat. Ek weet nie op watter vlak hy kan sien nie, maar toe hy my sien, toe sê hy, "Jo," so asof hy nie kan glo wie en wat hy sien nie. Maar nee, dit is 'n godswonderwerk.
Basically, what the 2 messages are saying is that Diaz's eye was operated on and that he can see through his one eye now. It's still, of course, going to take a week or so before they remove all the covers and things and before the eye is then considered to be normal. And he also, of course, has to go back for his other eye at some stage in the future. We don't know exactly when. And also, of course, he has to go back to see the surgeon. And that is the problem which we have now, is that Diaz and them are living in Kimberley. Kimberley is about 180 kilometers away from Platfontein, where they actually do the surgery. And so every time that Diaz has to go to the surgeon and to the doctor and to the clinic, Pastor in Gonga has to pick him up in his car and drive through, and then they have to live somewhere. Obviously, you can't live in the hotel or wherever they do the surgery, and then they have to bring Diaz back to where he lives. And so we need some funding for that, if I may ask you again. And also we need to finish the house with a cement right around, and we're still struggling with digging the hole for the French drain. It's a damn pity that we can't use explosives, because a man like Staffans is definitely capable of making a big bang and creating a hole for us. But sadly, as you know, that's not possible these days. And I want to thank all of you. It's a very touching moment for me. You know, I think we've reached the age now as veterans where we start thinking that, well, every day we live is actually fantastic. I saw a nice joke yesterday where somebody sent me something. I'll flash it for you here. Basically saying, stop looking at a young girl, but look at a woman who can actually understand the consequences of a stroke or a heart attack or something. You know, we're getting advanced in our years. You people probably much more than me. But I think we're at the stage now where we do understand that it's not to be taken for granted. We are at the age now where we have to start looking at each other. We have to help each other. We have to start taking care of each other. Otherwise, what's the use of living? You know, I live in a place here. We have about 15 bedrooms because it's a guest house. And each one of these 15 rooms have a big screen TV in it. And the other day I was walking through the rooms and I thought to myself, man, there's too many TVs in this place for one person. There's too many bedrooms in this for one person. The point I'm trying to make is, how much is enough? How much is enough? How many TVs do you need before you start saying, let us reach out? See somebody who's ill, cannot afford medicine. Can you really turn your head away? How many roads does it take? Remember that old song? How many times can you turn your head away? I think, guys, the time has come to stop turning your head away, and we need to assist. We need to help each other. And I think the Diaz project has shown it's possible. It can be done. And it can be done because good people stood up to be counted. So my appeal to you is get involved in your community, help each other. If you can help further with Diaz so that we can finish that cement slab thing around the house, that we can dig that hole for his French drain. So the fight is never over, and it's going to get much, much worse. So thank you to all of you who assisted, and thank you for you who listened up to here. God bless until we meet again.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to receive notifications.